Hi, I'm Roxanne Dirksen. I'm a registered massage therapist and a guild-certified Feldenkrais practitioner.
And I'm Gail French, and I'm a physical therapist, a Feldenkrais practitioner, and a Bones for Life teacher trainer.
We're doing this video in Victoria, BC, Canada, and last fall I met Gail French at the premier Bones for Life conference in Hampshire, New Hampshire, USA. And Gail was doing a presentation on
Sustainable posture.
sustainable posture, and I attended her seminar and I was greatly impressed. And after the seminar was over, I asked Gail French if she might come and do some teaching of Bones for Life in Victoria, which she has done.
Well, I was very excited to be invited to Victoria because it's one of my favorite cities in the world. And I was able to teach a Bones for Life 1 about 2 months ago.
March?
In March. And then I'm back here for an advanced Feldenkrais training, and I met with a small group for an hour and a half, just as an introduction.
So we did an introduction to Bones for Life, and we had some Feldenkrais students, we had some public visitors, as well as we had a couple of registered massage therapists. What would you say about what we did at the intro and what somebody might learn at Bones for Life training?
Well, the intro was an hour and a half, which isn't a lot of time because it's such a big thing that it actually teaches, the Bones for Life teaches. And I wanted to give the people who came an experience, a real experience, something concrete, and something that they could take home and use, and not just talk at them for an hour and a half. So I thought, well, what can I do in an hour and a half that's going to be meaningful? And I picked the idea of aligning the skeleton in gravity so that one bone stacks upon the other, so that the skeleton supports the weight of the human being. And then there's this other idea that when you put more compression through bones, specifically vibration or more compression, it strengthens the bones. And I wanted people to see how by improving their alignment of their posture, they could really feel a difference, that they could feel that I'm now more supported, I'm now more erect, and when I put a compression through the skeleton, I feel more supported and more at ease.
And as a participant in your intro, I found that that really worked for me. I found that I felt more length in my spine. You had us do a plumb line in the beginning. I felt like I was more lined up through, you know, the way my feet were standing on the floor, the way my hips lined up with my spine, and the way my head was resting on the top. And I was in particular impressed about the woman who you pressed down. You gave her some compression before and after.
Right.
Can you speak about that a little bit?
Well, again, when we work with Feldenkrais or Bones for Life, what we want it to be is a real experience and not something that you're doing it the way someone else told you to do it. And actually, most of the people in the room had fairly good posture to begin with. It wasn't like they were looked defective or something, or just even looked, they all had nice way of holding themselves. But I could see some little things that could improve. And so I asked for a volunteer, and a couple people came up, and I just put a little pressure down.
Maybe you could show it on me.
Okay, that would be good.
All right. Rolling.
Okay. So what Roxanne's talking about is, in gravity, if I push her down, hey Roxanne, will you move your pelvis forward just a little bit like that? You can see that her posture was pretty good, but now if I push her down like that, that's a big exaggeration. See, she can't even hold herself up. So come back and stand up a little. Okay. So this is just the same as gravity, only a little bit more. And because I put a little bit more, even though she's in gravity all day, the increase in gravity lets her perceive more of the effect of gravity on her. So you can see that when I press on Roxanne, maybe she has a tendency to move her pelvis forward a little bit. Okay? So, thank you, Roxanne. So anyway, one of the core maneuvers in Bones for Life is this idea of percussion by a little pum, 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 pum. And the more aligned I am, so if I go like this, you can see I have a bobblehead. So the more aligned I am, the more directly gravity flows through my skeleton. And so I did some different processes, starting first with the pelvis, to do something to change the pelvis so that A lot of people have their hips a little bit like this, to kind of open the hips out, bring the legs more directly under the hips. I did a little something so people could kind of figure out how their lumbar spine would be the most relaxed and comfortable between their chest and their back. And then a little something for the head so that people could figure out how to meet gravity in that line. Pum, 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 pum. And then they said, well, let's do something more. And we looked at the clock, and an hour and a half had already flown by. Thank you.
So how long is the level 1 and level 2 of Bones for Life training program?
Well, you know, level 1 is 20 hours, and level 2 is 20 hours, and level 3 is 20 hours. And I broke it just for convenience into the 20-hour segment so that I can teach it on a weekend without really interfering with people's ability to continue to work.
Now, speaking of work, what I've been attracted to, as far as I'm concerned, is as a registered massage therapist, although I've got a background as a Feldenkrais practitioner, a lot of massage therapists don't have that background of how to move. And so one of the problems that they encounter is repetitive strain injuries, especially with the thumb. Because when you work as a massage therapist, you actually become weight-bearing through your arms, this kind of work. So how would this benefit, say, somebody in a profession like that?
We do a lot of training people how to weight bear through their arms. One of the things, the curiosities Ruthie Alon, who created Bones for Life, had was someone asked her, how can we use Feldenkrais to strengthen bones? And so she thought about it and realized that the addition of more force through the bones is what causes the strength. But when she did some research, she found a lot of women, they hear, oh, I have to go lift weights, and so they go to the gym and lift weights, and they don't know how to lift weights. They don't use their shoulders properly, and they end up injuring their neck and their shoulders. So a great part of the training is on how to bring your weight through your skeleton from your pelvis, and you can just fall. You see how I can just kind of fall into the movement, so that if I were to work on somebody, I can just find that line.
Does that seem easier on your body? I think it does. Like when you,
instead,
opposed to thinking about this.
If I'm thinking about pushing on Roxanne, I can push. See me pushing? I'm pushing. But I can also just kind of fall into her like that. And she probably perceives it as feeling nicer. Of course.
It felt more connected.
More connected, yeah.
Okay, and so who else would you recommend a Bones for Life training for? I know that it's coined, the phrase is coined teacher training, but in fact a lot of just regular people from out there. And also, would it be good for, say, even people who are athletic trainers and things like that?
I've been teaching this in Anchorage, Alaska for, I think almost 10 years now. And all kinds of people come to my classes, and most people don't come to my classes with the intention of teaching others. They come because it's a very systematic way, and because they've heard other people say, this is awesome, I am so improved. It's all word of mouth. And so people come for themselves first. And then some people, they get so interested and so excited, they say, I've got to teach this to other people. And really, I encourage people to teach, because it's just natural to want to share. When you find something important, you want to share with your friends, your family. And then if you're interested professionally, you can teach, and you can go through the entire training, which is longer, but it's still about 200 hours. And at the end of the entire training, you can be certified to be a teacher. But that's only if that's your interest, to be a certified teacher. But most people, they're just interested in for themselves. Improving themselves. And it's only natural to want to share.
So would you say, even for somebody who is interested in having better posture, or, just aging better, would that be beneficial for them?
Most of the people who come to see me don't even really know that they want better posture. Most of the people, because I'm a physical therapist, come to me because they have pain. They have pain in their knees, they have pain in their back, they have pain in their neck and their shoulders. And when I look at them, the way I've been trained is I see it often is a part where it's not just posture, but it's just the way they move, put their parts together when they move. And in doing a movement that's smooth, it's the right movement at the right time, in the right sequence, with the right force. And that's a very complex equation.
Right.
And that's why it has to come from inside, from your motor planning, not from some sort of idea about how to do it that someone else has taught you. It has to be like deep inside of you in order to make all of that happen, because that's beyond what you and I can do. To think all the time about, oh, I have to do this, and, you know, Gail said I have to do it this way. It has to change. It has to be deeper.
Well, I do find that people who come to see me have been injured in, you know, their athletics, or even when they've been guided by trainers, or, you know, people do have pain. People suffer, and pain seems to be one of the biggest motivators to get people in the door, right?
Right.
But at the same time, these processes, what could you say about them? What are they exactly?
Well, the processes is the coin that Ruthie uses to say it's like a little mini lesson. It's just something that if you do this thing, like I showed the bouncing on the heels, it'll help you organize your posture better for carrying weight, or for walking, or for sitting. But actually they're all the same thing. It's about being in gravity and being comfortable in gravity, and learning that gravity is actually your friend, and it's not something that you fight all day long.
And once you can become more, and what about this pum-pum thing? Like, would that really have an effect on your bone density over time if you were lined up with that?
Well, you know, the people experientially, I don't think there's enough numbers to say anything. You know, in terms of science, you need hundreds of people with a really good database. But in terms of people who come to me who've been really consistent about doing their Bones for Life processes and have gone through the training, we have seen an increase in bone density, which is fabulous. And not only that, but people who've come to me, I see their spine straightening out. They're moving with more ease, with more comfort, and they have that appearance of standing more comfortably.
Wow, well, I look forward to having you come back in the fall. You're going to do another teacher training. We haven't established the dates yet, but we're thinking sometime in autumn. And thank you so much for coming out to Victoria again. It's been great to see you.
Well, I'm certainly looking to coming back, because I think this is a very beautiful place, and I love the people here. Same reason I went to Alaska. It's the two things: nice people and a nice place.